And welcome back aboard Blurred Force One with your boy Mo and your girl Polly. And this is the Supercast. The Supercast where we talk about all things superhero in our pop culture media. That's movies, TV shows, video games. We talk about the news and do some speculation, all of that good and nerdy stuff. And before we get into the podcast today, you know what to do. Get down there and hit like on this video. So, it's what is it? Almost end of October. In fact, tomorrow, which when I think this is going to go out, it is going to be Halloween, and we've already done our spooky season stuff. And I don't know about you, I'm ready for Christmas. I'm just, this is me personally. But that being said, we're going to close out October in a great way. This is a surprisingly good news week. Some stuff has come out, some trailers dropped. Polly played a video game and wants to tell us all about it, and so I mean we're super excited about that. And but before we talk about all of that good stuff, Polly, how you doing? How's the nerd life been going, and what you been up to?
So good. So good. The nerd life has never been better. It's all the nerdy stuff is here, and I don't know. There is a ton of stuff to be excited about. There is a ton of stuff that we're waiting to come out. It's well, nothing new has come out yet.
Right.
But we're waiting for stuff. And of course, like I did some nerding on a budget. Some.
Nice.
Just a little. Not as much as some people, who discovered a store and then just decided to leave all their money there. I'm not like that. I'm a reasonable person. But I did get this thing.
Oh, nice. What? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see what that is.
This is graphic novels for young adults series from DC, which I absolutely love. I love that whole line, and I think I talk about it a lot whenever I whenever I say that people should get their teenagers into comics. I always talk about these things. They have like several different books. There is Teen Titans book, there is a Harley Quinn book, a Catwoman book, a Constantine book, and this is it. It's great, and for some reason he does look like Spike from Buffy here, but yeah.
Oh, for some reason
that's probably
Spike from Buffy looked like John Constantine.
No. Look, I'm not saying that they copied the look, but like they clearly did. And I don't know, if anything, I think that's gonna make the book more popular. But also there was I'm pretty sure there was just this one copy of this book in the store, and I got it. So yeah,
haha,
I'm
suckers! Haha, suckers! You should have grabbed it when you had the chance.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, I think I should have grabbed it when I had the chance for the first time, but I didn't. I bought Fantastic Four instead, but this time I decided that this has to be mine.
Nice.
So yeah, that was nerding on a budget that I did, and it was good.
You're right. And you played I know you're playing Rivals this week, and you're playing Dispatch, which you are going to talk about later.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about Dispatch later. I've been playing Marvel Rivals. Of course, I've been playing Marvel Rivals. I've been trying to beat Nightmare 4 of Marvel Zombies. I have not succeeded. My friends have succeeded. Good for them. I have not succeeded. It's freaking difficult. It's not very entertaining because you pretty much just have to get the right build and then just spend the whole time pressing one button and trying to get around the map without two zombie wonders.
Now, two zombie wonders, that's unfair. That feels unfair.
Yeah, that is unfair, and I'm pretty sure the whole thing is bugged. I'm not I'm not disappointed that I can't beat it, but just I do have some resentment. Well, I did get some cool skins, and I think I posted on Threads like screenshots of getting an MVP. I'm not bragging, but yeah, I do get the MVP quite a few times.
Nice.
Rarely. It's fun.
Well, that sounds cool. Again, a game I'm not going to play because I don't know. It doesn't move me. Probably because I'm bad at it. Probably because I'm bad at it. But
I mean, it doesn't take a lot to get good at it, or like at least tolerable. You pretty much need good aim, and even if you don't have
oh,
good
there you
aim,
go.
you can play some characters that there are some characters that you can play easily, and I mean, you get better in time. The more you practice, the better
Right.
you become, and it's fun. It's
Mm.
fun.
Sound.
Sometimes you have like a Spider-Man, Lord Spider-Man in your team who goes like 0-15.
I might try it again over the holidays. We'll see.
You
This
should.
holiday season, there's a lot of stuff. Yeah, Marvel Cosmic Invasion is gonna take up a decent amount of my time. Also, another one I found. So my nerding this week has been it's been kind of minimal. I've been doing a lot out in my garden, which if you've seen me on Threads, I've been fighting with critters in my garden. Um, so there's that, and getting ready for the cold weather. I'm in Florida. I know you already have actual cold weather, but here
Oh yeah.
in Florida, at least in my part of Florida, it's only cold really overnight, so it's quite warm during the day. But we're getting fall's coming in finally, our small bit of fall. So I got to get ready for that. But the actual nerding stuff I know y'all care about that I've been up to this week is I've been continuing to watch Wednesday season 2 with my daughter. It's fun. It's gotten more fun in the last few episodes. So we're probably actually for tomorrow for our Halloween kind of like movie day. We're not gonna skip a movie. We're gonna watch more of Wednesday season 2. It seems on brand, I think, for the season. Also, I caught a zombie movie on Netflix called The Elixir. It's a Korean, not Korean. It's an Indonesian. Sorry, uh, zombie movie that I do not recommend. I think
That good.
I think visually it looks like a good zombie movie, like any good, like it has a good look to it. There's obvious CG, but like whatever, it's fine. That's not my problem. My problem is it's not just the story isn't original. It doesn't do anything fun or interesting with it either. Because like I've seen plenty of zombie stuff. Train to Busan was a revelation to me. I'd seen a lot of zombie stuff, and it's such a good like take on the zombie genre. Like instead of people being stuck in a house or behind the walls or whatever trying to find safe space, they're stuck on a freaking train. Well, this is just a pretty rote zombie movie that's in a different language. The dub is not good, but whatever. um it's on the countryside, but it's just really it's peopled by stupid ass protagonists doing dumb shit, making things worse. Like they and it's unforgivably stupid. Like if you've seen people get bit and then wake up after they're dead and become zombies, and you don't tell the police about it when you get to them, you don't be like, hey, these people, shoot them immediately because they're gonna just bite you and turn. You don't take the time to explain that. um Especially when you see it happen in front of you again, is ridiculous. It happens like several times where people know what's going on and they don't communicate this to anybody. So I'm just like, you guys are stupid. And it was 2 hours. That's unforgivable. Don't make a movie that's 2 hours long and its premise can get done in an hour and 30. Don't do that. So anyway, I don't recommend it, but I did watch that. Watch Sleepaway Camp, the original one, again because my daughter wanted to watch it for Halloween. Fun times and good conversation afterwards about it. There's a lot going on in that movie. I don't know if you've seen Sleepaway Camp before, but
I have not.
it's on Prime Video, or at least in America, it's on Prime Video. You might check it out if you like the Friday the 13th series. It's kind of notorious.
Wow.
it's because there's an aspect to it that is a bit problematic, but it came out in like the early 80s. So yeah. Anyway, I recommend it. It's a good time. Started reading Ultimate Spider-Man properly, so I'm a few issues into the Ultimate Spider-Man, the new one. And I'm trying to. I feel like it's a stretched out story. Personally, I read issue 3. I'm like, could y'all get to the point here? Like, get on with it. Like, everything y'all are doing in these 3 episodes, Stan would have done in the first 5 pages of an episode of an issue of Spider-Man. Y'all taking too long.
See, but that's what I like about modern comics. That some of them, at least, that they're not rushing anywhere, and I don't like when they rush.
Yeah, at least J. Jonah Jameson and Uncle Ben are based, so I'll take it. Yeah, I rearranged my room, so next time y'all see me, it's gonna be a wall of pops behind me. And then, of course, I had to do nerding on a budget. Now, 2 things. One, I don't have a huge haul to show y'all. Sorry. Tomorrow I expect to get a big box of toys, but it just didn't make it on time. I discovered after getting a ton of freaking ads for it on YouTube, I finally checked out Big Bad Toy Store, which is, I think they do ship internationally, by the way, if you're interested. But they're having like a big
the taxes.
Yeah, taxes and like shipping and blah, blah. I mean, yeah, it's probably
right.
But they have they had a fall sale, and I was like, let me look and see what they got going. I think I found it through Google, actually. Huge discounts on some Marvel Legends figures, so I got a bunch coming, so I'm gonna show that to all y'all next week. And then I screwed around and I made another order because they had a lot of Funko Pops too, and like some DC multiverse, so McFarlane Toys also. And I've made 3 orders at this point. And they have a cool, I kind of like them because they have $4, at least in the continental United States, they have $4 shipping on all orders. Like, so if you have a big order of like 20 items, it's $4 for shipping. If you have 1 item, $4 for shipping. And they have a way that you can save orders until you have like 90 days to say, hey, send it to me, or they'll send it to you automatically after 90 days and apply taxes and everything. But so I have 3 things sitting waiting for me to get a bigger order, and then I have 2 orders on the way. I may end up doing a whole side video of just talking about nerding on a budget with Big Bad Toy Store, because it is ridiculous. Like, I'm telling you, I think I spent $75 after tax and shipping for 7 Marvel Legends figures, and then my other one was like $50, and it was like 8 or 9 Funko Pops and like 3 action figures. Totally worth it. I have no fucking room for it, and I don't care. So that is
the most important part.
Yeah, I mean, I'll find some place. If I gotta make room on the refrigerator, they're gonna go somewhere. But that being said, I did get one thing in the mail this was $10. Like $10. I don't know if it was necessarily on a budget, but it was cheaper than list price. Anyway, look at this guy. You're like, who? First of all, he's washed out because of the glare. Let's see if I can get the glare off of him. I can't. Either way.
Well, no, it doesn't.
It's even worse. Either way, this is Edgin from what is it? Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, played by Chris Pine. Yes.
Yeah, maybe if I could have seen his face.
I'm sorry.
He's dressed like a medieval dude.
He's super pale. There you go.
He's like way too white.
Yeah, he's super pale, so it's hard to like. There you go. That's a little bit.
Oh yeah. He kind of looks like.
It's actually a really
Chris
good.
Pine.
Yeah, Chris Pine. It's actually a really good face sculpt. This completes my set of the character, the human character, or the humanoid characters. I got Dor. I think I.
But did they have non-humanoid characters?
They did. Well, I mean, humanoid. Well, they had like Thimbershaw, the obese dragon. They had the displacer beast. They had the gelatinous ooze from later on in the episode. The only thing is, I think it sucks that they don't have the red wizard, the woman that they were fighting against. But they do have Forge. So I have 6. I have the 6 main characters now. I'm gonna set them up in the display or something like that, because they can't be displayed in their boxes because their boxes are just cardboard. Anyway, I think that's a really cool figure. I really like all of them. And I want to like kind of pose them in a better way. So I may get like stands for them or something like that. It's really, if I can. The only problem is the Displacer Beast and the Gelatinous Cube and the Dragon. It's not Thimbershot. It's a different dragon. Are really expensive, and I'm not spending $40 on one of them. Sorry, it's not happening. But I was glad I got those figures. It's very, very cool stuff. So anyway, next week I will be showing off even more, nerding on a budget stuff. It should be a good time. So you guys come back and check that out. Anyway, we are gonna move forward with our usual thing. We're gonna do our news, but before that, Polly is gonna talk about comics. So we're gonna jump into Polly Has Issues.
That's true. That's always true, but
yes.
Yeah. So yeah, this week I did have some time. I did put aside some time for reading comics. I finally caught up on some runs, and I finally started some other runs. The first thing I have read was Amazing X-Men, which is just another continuation of like setting up the world of Revelation and showing what a crappy world Dark built. Really, really horrible world, and like nobody's happy. But this event, I'm starting to really enjoy it because it has a lot of stories set up, and I don't know how long it's gonna last, but it feels like it should be like a very wholesome thing, and a pretty large event. It kind of like overshadows other events that are ongoing, and I'm going to talk about this later because it ties directly into some other issues. The other thing I read is Avengers 29, 30, and 31, which is like the last 3 issues, and they are concluding the arc of the missing moment, which is they set up a story there where they went up against Kang the Conqueror, who was looking for the missing moment, and one thing led to another. They ended up coming to Reed Richards and telling him that the world is kind of going to end, and it's too late to do anything. That was the moment that I realized that I really like this run, because I mean they did the Reed Richards thing to Reed Richards. They messed everything up. They came to him for help. They told him it's too late to do anything. But this event kind of brings up, it has some connection to, doesn't have any connections to One World Under Doom, even though it could have and should have. Well, it kind of does, but not enough. It does have some ties to Battle World. They kind of bringing it back on. It exists somewhere. So yeah, it's a very interesting thing, and it was really good, referencing Secret Wars and kind of like the remaking of the whole 616 universe, like the 8th Cosmos. Probably like the first time when it was referenced, aside from the Fantastic Four, because obviously like not everyone knew about that. Fun. Anyway, like I'm pretty happy with what came out of this run in general. Then what else did I read? I read Javelin Shark. Yeah. That is just a cute story with a very nice end. Now it's written by Kelly Thompson, and it's just adorable. Not sure if it's something that you could recommend to kids, because it's like a little bit more adult, and the humor is not always for kids, but cute, and everybody loves Jeff. I really think that Marvel should capitalize more on Jeff, because people love Jeff.
Yep.
Just release some toys. I don't know, finally. Why aren't they releasing toys? The next one I read was Imperial 4, and to be honest, like, to tell you the truth, I forgot that Imperial was going on.
It has to do. It sounds
really?
Like doesn't it have to do with the Inhumans, who most people forget?
Yeah, and Inhumans are very forgettable. Like, you put Inhumans in a story, and people immediately forget that the story exists, even though it is written by Jonathan Hickman. Surprisingly, no infographics at all. The story, it does do a better job of like building like some character moments and having some character moments. There are some good in the fourth issue, good ones, but as always, it's not nearly enough. It kind of what bugs me about Jonathan Hickman's stories, at least most of them. It does feel like this event. I mean, the event is ended, and it is the final issue. It does feel like this event either should have been bigger or should have been like more taken more seriously by everyone. It kind of didn't affect anything. It could have happened, could not have happened, but it seems like its sole purpose is to get characters from point A to point B. Like they needed to have Nova, for instance, with his helmet and his like world mind, looking for the sources to charge it and to keep it going. They were looking for a way to like install Star-Lord as the well, spoilers, hello, as the Spartoi leader, and they needed like stuff to happen, so they came up with this event. It's a good event. It does it is interesting, but it's underdeveloped in my opinion. Could have been better and could have been more serious. It does reference, like not reference, but it does talk about politics in a very interesting way. Does talk about building empires, because obviously we're dealing with a few empires, like Chris Krull Empire, which falls apart back to status quo. Again, getting like it means to an end.
Right.
Does deal with like Spartax, does deal with Wakandan Empire, stuff like that, and you know it kind of still doesn't know what to do with the Inhumans, in my opinion, because what we got from that is pretty much like the dynamic from Black Bolt and Maximus is kind of the same dynamic that Thor and Loki have.
Yeah.
So doesn't really bring anything new, and we still don't know what to do with the Inhumans. Just, I don't know, kill them off maybe. They're just not interesting. I don't know. If you're an Inhumans fan, please tell me why you like them. Like, people, do tell me why you like them. Another issue I read was Fantastic Four #4. Of course, like, now I read the ongoing Fantastic Four. And this was just a side issue. Pretty fun because it dealt with Alicia and like her. She was kind of an important part of what was going on. They dealt with some alien invasion, which technically, like at the end of the book, you find out that it was happening everywhere, but nobody knew about this. And then it's not going to be referenced or even noticed by anyone else. So yeah, things are happening. Nobody cares. A Fantastic Four, like since they are showing up right now in the Avengers in One World Under Doom, I don't think that there is room for. It's just a reminder. So yeah, there is no room for them in their own story. Kind of falls flat. But in general, like it's a fun issue, yeah. And what else? Oh, Doom was last week. But this kind of the problem that I have with all the comics right now, because we have certain characters like Reed, like Black Panther, Storm, and they're dealing with several crises at the same time, and you can't actually put them together in one timeline. You don't know where they actually are, because like Reed is in the Avengers, he's in One World Under Doom, he's in the Fantastic Four, and well, he does like the Reed from the Avengers has nothing to do with Reed from One World Under Doom, because like two different crises, two different huge problems. I don't know. Black Panther in the Avengers, he's dealing with the battle world and all that stuff with Kang, and at the same time, he's in the Imperial, dealing with an Imperial war. I don't know what's going on there, really. But those are the comics that I read, and pretty good. I actually was going to read some more because there are like interesting things are happening in the X-Men, but I didn't have enough time. We're gonna try and like, squeeze it in somewhere, but you
I
know.
mean, I totally understand. I've read like 2 this week, so
Well, still good.
all right. Well, there you go, Polly. Those are Polly's issues. So of course that means that we do have some news to get to this week. It's not a lot of big news, but it's definitely some interesting stuff we're gonna talk about.
But it's a lot of smaller news.
Yeah, small news, but interesting things that are going on. Some small things. Comic book shop gets its comic book is funded. There's a tribute to Ruth Carter, so we got to see some Dora Milaje on the runway. Um, rumor about Marvel zombies, the future of it. We got a trailer for Monster Girl and Robot and Invincible Versus. Michael Waldron talks a little bit about the Young Avengers. There's a super dope image that's kind of circulating right now from the newest Absolute Batman annual. It's got some people upset, and
Why?
you guess why. David Dastmalchian talks about who he wants to be in the MCU, and you might be thinking, isn't he already in the MCU? We gonna see.
No.
Showrunner Chris Mundy talks about lanterns and kind of some decisions they made and how they're approaching it. Then James Gunn apparently he's safe if the takeover of Warner Brothers Discovery happens, which was a big question I think for us comic book fans. Then Polly's gonna review Dispatch, and afterwards we're gonna do some some viewer questions. So it's a new thing we're doing this week. So, Polly, excuse me, Polly, y'all ready to go?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into it. Oh, that's the wrong one, of course. So, real quick, we just do some quick items for the week. Let's give a shout out and a congratulations to Cheyenne Iwulu. And all of the crew over at the comic shop and the comic book creators that are going to be creating the tie-in comic for the comic shop. If you contributed to the Kickstarter, yay, we love you. If you didn't have an opportunity to, or you just you didn't have the money, that's fine. It's all good. We're just happy that they got finance. Now, I will admit, I had the doom and gloom last week because remember when we recorded, they were so far away from the goal. Like it was like $12,000. I was like, y'all gonna do that in a day?
Yeah, y'all were asking for too much. Yeah, you got greedy.
Hey, they did it. They did it because they certainly charged my credit card for for it. No, I saw she posted on Threads that like in the last with 2 hours to spare, they hit the funding goal of $40,000, which was dope. Good. We need to celebrate these things, because in this media landscape, people that look like us are getting pushed to the side so they can make another Yellowstone clone or whatever featuring some rugged white dude and with doing things his own way or whatever. Or
doing the right thing.
Yet another sitcom, middle America sitcom that don't have. You know what I'm saying? Like, and especially in the fantasy and comic, we're getting pushed to the side. Yeah, Wonder Man's coming out in and Lanterns, but yeah, they greenlit this shit before the anti-woke brigade took over.
Is white.
Yeah. Well, they greenlit a lot of this shit before the anti-woke brigade took over in Washington D.C. So we gotta really show love for this because these are small stories featuring people of color that wouldn't get told otherwise. So I'm really glad that they made this happen. I'm not gonna ask you if you helped finance the Kickstarter, but I will ask how are you feeling about this, and does it make you confident that we'll get a season 2?
You know what? I'm gonna be controversial because I kind of knew that that would happen because to uh even to promote something well, you have to have a success story. You can't have a story of an unfunded project. So even if they like rallied up some of their friends and like that's okay because you need a success story. If
Hmm.
it's story of like last minute success, it's a better story even. Uh, so yeah, I'm really, really happy that it happened, and I'm really happy that they're doing the book, and I'm really hoping that we get a season two because and longer episodes because seriously, this should be more out there. This should be like available to everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
And also interestingly, Cheyenne has a story in there. They're doing actually Rat City. Zeno who played Keith. I think he's part of the Rat City thing. So they're actually getting in there and actually contributing story and everything. This is a nerd's dream come true. It's never been my dream to make a comic book, but I know there are plenty of people who wanted to make a comic book, and
I don't
kicks.
know. I would make a comic book.
I mean, if you draw, I'll write.
Oh hell no! I
I
write. I don't draw.
Oh man, well see, we you can't have two writers on it
Yeah,
without an
we can,
artist.
but we need yeah we need
Well, we
still
need an
need an artist.
artist. I mean, come on. But no, this is dope. Glad to hear it, and can't wait to see. Well, eventually I'm gonna get my physical copy. I just like when sometime next year, I'm assuming. So very excited for that, and to hear more about second season. I'm assuming the Kickstarter is going to kick off sometime next year. We gotta make it happen. So you guys keep an eye on that. We'll let you guys know when it drops. Um, this was just a cool little thing I saw come across threads. There was I think, kind of a fashion show thing where I think it's Vogue or celebrating
Vogue fish,
Hollywood.
yeah.
Yeah, they were celebrating Hollywood, so they did a thing at the Paramount lot. It was a big deal. There's a bunch of other stuff. I didn't pay attention to that. What I did pay attention to is that they were honoring Ruth Carter, which, by the way, there was a Vogue did they did an interview with her talking about like her 15 top 15 costumes, which, by the way, that means she's been at it since the 80s. Like she first worked with Spike Lee back in the 80s on Do the Right Thing, which is a movie you should watch if you haven't seen it. But she's been working with Spike Lee and a bunch of other people. She worked with, and going through that interview, she worked with Spielberg. She's worked with some big names, and people specifically asking for her, not just like, oh, can I have a job? No, they were like, no, we want you. And so she worked on Yellowstone. I didn't know that. So she did costumes for Yellowstone. She did costumes, working with Spielberg. I'm like, she's been all over the place. She's a goat. She's got 2 Oscars for a reason. It's you know what I'm saying? She did Sinners. She did the costumes for Sinners and the Black Panther movies. So like, what's up.
I mean,
Anyway,
she really does deserve a third Oscar for that.
she's done. I mean,
Just saying.
she's done stuff for a lot of things. I'm just saying, go look at her IMDb. She's a goat. But that being said, they did what's important to us is they did a tribute to Black Panther, which I was like, what? What really caught me? They were like, Denai Guerrero. I was like, oh shit, Okoye in this bitch. Let's go.
Oh my god! Wait. Did you see Angela Bassett?
I did see Angela.
Come on.
I forgot to put her on the thing, but but
Yeah,
yes,
but that's
mean,
what got my attention.
the queen, of course, Angela
You're
Bassett,
right.
like just
With the whole look, it was so gorgeous.
and they also Tiana Taylor, who was not in but she
For some reason.
she dressed up as a Dora Milaje. Well, you know why?
She showed up.
She's hot. Well, she's hot right now. She was in one battle after another, and she's really good in it. She's kind of hot right now. She's starting to be in a bunch of things. But both of them dressed up as Dora and were just like marching down there and doing. And then they had some backup dancers and everything like that. I loved seeing Denai Guerrero. She had hair, y'all. So just like, just letting you know she did not shave her head for this, and that's fair.
For every occasion.
I get it. It's fair. Even though I would have loved to have seen it, and Tiana Taylor had I think she had Bantu knots in. They beautiful, both of them. I love the Dora. I'm like I could keep going. I just wanted to highlight that this is dope shit. Like if you're a comic book fan, that should have really made you happy, I think.
It did.
ah,
No, seriously, that's like the costumes and the whole look of Black Panther is one of my favorite things probably in the MCU, because there is no other movie that has such a distinct face and distinct look. That's amazing, and like everything, all the celebrations, she definitely deserves it and more.
absolutely. That's beautiful. Loved it. Love to see those ladies. Honestly, I wish they had. I forget the actress's name that plays Io, but I love her too. I would have loved to have seen that too. This really just makes me be like, what the hell is Black Panther 3? Get on, Ryan Coogler. You can't wait 5 years between every movie. Don't play like that. Come on, I need Black Panther 3. Anyway, I thought that was really cool. So also let's get on the quickly a rumor here, and this is just more of a no shit sort of thing. The rumor is that Marvel Animation, Marvel Studios is happy with the performance of Marvel Zombies because there's rumor that they have greenlit season 2. Now, I will say, well, you better damn well have. The way y'all left that first season, that was some bullshit. You know, if you want zombie movies generally end on a down note anyway, where you don't fix the problem and everything. You're fewer people than you started with, and y'all are still in a fucked up world. So I expected that. If they had ended, it'd be like, yep, she made a bad choice, and now the whole world is zombies. I'd have been like, okay, fine. But they were like, oh, I made a bad choice. The world is zombies, and I'm being mind controlled, but also Riri. And I'm like, oh, y'all gonna leave it like that? Get out of here. But it looks like they probably will do this. Are you surprised by this?
Yes. For one simple reason, because I just don't expect season 2 of things anymore from Marvel. They left us with a lot of good projects that deserve the second season. But they left us like on season 1.
Yeah.
I'm like talking Ironheart, for instance, but like, who's counting? Seriously, I'm a little bit surprised. What doesn't surprise me is that there is not that much in that show that can upset certain people. So, yeah, a lot of people liked it. A lot of people who kind of went all like Marvel is dead, they liked it too. So maybe that's the reason. I don't know.
I guess I'm not surprised because the reception was so good, right? The reception was so good, and people were like really talking about it online. Like I think it's almost universally acclaimed. Like obviously there are going to be some haters or whatever, or maybe it's not some people's cup of tea, but I think generally speaking, people really liked it. So, and also I think it was in like top streaming for at least a week, so that's good. And the cost of it, and they can kind of just crank it out whenever. So I think it's a kind of a low investment, high return sort of situation. So I'm not surprised by it. I'm glad. I want to see the way they solve this problem. So we'll see. We'll let you know if they ever confirm this rumor, and we'll talk about it then. This is mostly just for me. This is another quick one. Invincible Versus is a tag fighting game. I talked about it probably 2 months ago or so when they released their initial trailer for it. I'm a fighting game fan. I'm interested. I've been following the development of this game and people that have played and everything. I will say I'm probably going to be bad at it and not play it as much as my interest is, but it looks very cool, and I like Invincible a lot. So that being said, there was a trailer put out for Monster Girl and Robot being introduced to the roster, and they kind of basically showcased their moves and kind of how they would play and everything like that. Um, I don't know. Before I say more, did you get a look at this trailer? And I know you don't play fighting games, but
I did, yeah, but like again, fighting games. I mean, not that I don't play them, it's just they don't interest me as much as other games do.
Mm-hmm. I think one thing is that their fidelity to the art style and even the attitude of the show is great. Like, you can really see that they're fans of the show and the characters and everything like that. All their fighting moves make sense relative to who the characters are. They even, like I want to say Monster Girl's her level 3 super or whatever you want to call it, where she's basically doing a dropping down on them, but she changes back into herself and then changes back into the monster, like just stuff like that. There's the attitude that's consistent with the show. It's very interesting. Even like Rudy, aka Robot, is very mechanical sounding, and there's a lot of shooting a lot of things, throwing missiles, kind of even having like doppelgangers and stuff like that. It's all very interesting stuff. I'm super excited for this. I don't know when the hell this is coming out, but hopefully they'll let us know when it's going to actually release. Again, am I going to be good at it? Probably not.
Wow, that's not. We don't play games to be good at them.
But I'm going to buy this definitely, and get in there and mix it up because I want, and just expanding this roster. Like, I didn't talk about it a week or two ago. Cecil is one of the characters, like fighting characters. And I'm like, how the hell is Cecil of all people? He should be. There's no reason he should be involved in this at all. But he has technology or something. But Cecil's a player. It's wild.
If Marvel Rivals is rumor, like there is a rumor that they're gonna add Charles Xavier. So anything is possible.
They need to add. Who will be cool? This is unrelated to. We're gonna talk about Marvel Rivals briefly. Slapstick. If they ever put Slapstick, well, I don't know why Slapstick isn't in stuff. He's literally a cheat code. You know how hard it is to beat Slapstick? Like, if Slapstick damn near has world-breaking power, as long as what he's doing is funny, right? As long as the things he does are funny, he can do anything. And I'm like, that's a hell of a power. That's a great power. Like, he's fought people he should had no business fighting, and lived to tell the tale.
Squirrel Girl.
Well, I'm just like, I mean, he has literal plot armor because it's like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. A tune can survive anything as long as it's funny, right? That's his power. Like, why don't they put Nobody wants to put Slapstick, probably because nobody knows who the hell he is. But like, that character.
And also, like, it's really hard to come up with funny stuff.
Well, I mean, if most of his moves are just like, big hammers and anvils and like, what do you call them, portable holes and shit like that, basically Looney Tunes shit. If that's all he does, that would be a dope character for Marvel Rivals. I mean, like, literally.
Hell no. Look, between like getting killed by Moon Knight songs, I don't know, getting jumped by Spider-Man who's trying to chase kills, and like other stuff. Nah, I don't think there is room for slapstick in this world.
I can dream, right?
Another game, another time.
Yeah. Well, this was a cool trailer. I'm interested. I'm definitely ready for this to come out so I can talk about it, play it a bit, and talk all about it. So we'll see whenever they release some information. I'll let you know. This is another interesting little thing I saw. And this, look, it has nothing to do with anything because Jeff Loveness is no longer attached to write he's no longer attached to write the new Avengers movie. Um, we talked about this about when he got kind of let go. Was it a year or two? It's almost 2 years ago he got let go from it. In part because Quantum Mania failed so hard. Quantum Mania failed, and they're like, I don't know if you should.
Maybe not.
Maybe you should be on this. Maybe. And Jonathan Majors and no, we go. How about no? But I guess he was talking on Reddit or something about the scrapped plans that he had, and they actually sound kind of dope, and they dovetail with some things we already sort of saw in phase phase 5 with the Marvel, because at the end of the Marvels, what's her name, Kamala Khan meets up with Kate Bishop, and she's like, she's trying to bring the Young Avengers together essentially, right? And we were like, oh shit, we're gonna get the young. Of course, nothing has happened because things, because Marvel basically, it's because the Marvel production schedule and what do they call it? They were reassessing what they're doing, and so they
probably Reed's fault.
Yeah. And there's still rumors that the Young Avengers will show up in was it Doomsday and then
Doomsday
and then Secret Wars. So it's
Secret
a possibility.
Wars?
Yeah, it's a possibility they will show up. But Jeff Loveness had a cool idea. I like this idea actually quite a bit, where he basically said that the Young Avengers were going to come together and then defeat Kang, a variant of Kang. And because we know from Quantum Mania that there was a ton of Kangs, and there was like so many that they filled a stadium, and they were going to be a huge problem for the multiverse. So they were going to fight a variant of Kang and defeat him. And they were going to be like, yeah, we beat Kang. And then they would find, like, it said they find a note on him or in his pocket that said, be nice to him. This is his first day as a Kang. And I was like, that's hilarious. And I would have loved to see that. I would love to have seen that.
That is a great idea. Well, it's funny, for sure. But,
we don't have Kang.
We don't have Kang. We don't have Young Avengers. I don't know what we even have now. We have Doom.
They could honestly,
not even the real one.
They could repurpose this bit and just make it a Doom bot. It's just make it a Doom bot. We defeat Doom. Oh, hey, the Young Avengers. Wait
a second. Wait a second before you get too carried away. It's not that easy to defeat a Doombot. Okay?
Exactly.
Doombots are developed by Doom himself.
Exactly. But it happens so frequently in the comics.
Nah, Doombot wins.
It happens so frequently in the comics to explain away anything that happens with Doom. So
it was a Doombot.
I mean, honestly, this is such a good idea. I hope that they do it with Doom, like a Doombot. Because then they could introduce the idea of Doombots, right? Because so far we've only seen Doom, sorta, in Fantastic Four. If they could introduce the idea of a Doombot simultaneously introduce the idea of the Young Avengers, that would be awesome. We get a twofer, because then you never know, like. It's kind of, the thing about Doom is you never know if you're actually fighting him, right? Because
most often than not, you don't. I guess.
Yeah.
He ain't got time for you.
Yeah. Sometimes he really is just sending his armor out and which is why it makes sense that Tony Stark variant being Doom is very Doom-like to send a robotic avatar, essentially, because Tony Stark does that shit all the time.
Yeah, but like Doom is Doom. I mean, to mix him up with someone, it's just wrong.
Obviously, this Doom is not going to be as capable as the real Victor Von Doom. Well, obviously that's true. Because we know historically in the comics, Dr. Doom gets the better of Tony Stark all the time. Literally all the time, he gets the better of him. If he's not straight up whooping him, and usually he doesn't get to that point of having to beat him up physically. Usually he's just leading him around like by by like he has a ring on his nose and pointing him in the direction to go to make shit happen. So like even when he needs Tony Stark to do something, he usually is manipulating him in the to go in the way he wants him to go. So like this Doom, this Tony Stark Doom, obviously he's going to be much easier to defeat than real Victor Von Doom, which will make the Doombot thing even more interesting. Because then at the end of it, you can be like, that ain't even really Doom. So y'all ain't beat the real one. Y'all beat I don't want to say Dime Store. He's not Dime Store Doom, but he most definitely is off brand. So I think this is a really cool idea. I wish I could see that script because I really wanted to see Kang as the bad guy, but
I really, Kang is not one of my favorite characters, like, or baddies. I don't think that I wanted to see him. I mean, but like the recent story in Avengers, definitely one of the better stories about Kang that I've read so far. But in general, I'm fine with them letting him go. I don't know how they're gonna explain, or if they're even gonna try to explain that stadium of Kangs. Like, I don't know. A giant brick fell on them and killed them all. Something clearly.
I think they're gonna explain that Doom just wiped them out single-handedly. But because
that's fair.
If you want to actually establish Victor Von Doom, or at least the what's that, Tony Von Doom, as as a serious bad guy, just have him beat the absolute hell out of an entire stadium of
nobody called
Kangs.
Tony Von Doom. Is that going to be a serious adversary? That's just not going to happen.
Tony Von Doom. That's what he's. That's his name from now on the podcast. It's Tony Von Doom from now on. Okay. Anyway, I thought that was cool. I just wanted to talk about it. Next, this is something even cooler. Now I thought that was cool, but this is even cooler. You can't see the graphic, but you saw the page. Absolute Batman annual release this week, and the internet is buzzing about it. At least the comic book internet.
Which is the whole internet, is our opinion.
Yeah. And I think this is a litmus test for what kind of person you are. This, as usual, this a culture war deal. If the picture is some dude doing an Elon Musk salute, and then, or what do they call it, a Roman salute?
Roman.
Yeah, he was doing an Elon Musk Nazi salute, and then Batman was like about that, and hyperextended and broke his elbow. I heard that Absolute Batman was based anyway. Like, I had heard that anyway. Like, he's not a rich guy. In this one, he's not a rich dude. He's not like, a billionaire. He's a guy. He's just a guy, right? A worker or something like that. And he's out there putting in work, he's basically doing what Superman used to do when he was first created, messing up corrupt landlords and all this other stuff, right? And there was a thing where he was I don't think he's fighting police in this episode too. And then like a guy that's drawing it right now actually drew an anti-ice image of Batman, with Batman, basically facing off against an ICE agent. And that'll be relevant in a second. But so this one is, he's fighting white supremacists, racists, and going ham. Like, I saw some picture and fighting the police and going in, and it's a really cool image, and it's a cool thing for the character. Remembering this is not the Bruce Wayne we know from the mainstream comics. He is in the Absolute universe, which is a different take on it. It's their ultimate version, and people seem to really like those comics. I need to get into it personally. I just haven't yet.
Same.
But like I said, this is a litmus test. Polly, how do you think people took this? How do you think people took this image?
I mean, people just accept it as is, because that's what heroes do. Horrible people, I don't know. Probably mad.
Yes, that's the thing is, they were like, Batman was never political. Y'all are dumb. Or the other thing is, if you get mad look, seriously, if you get mad about this image, you're just telling on
What
yourself.
does it say about you?
Yeah, you're telling on yourself. Like, this is like when people be like, man, fascists sure suck. And like, why are you calling me a fascist? Literally nobody called you that, but thanks for self-identifying. You self-selected as a piece of shit. Look, I'm so serious. If you can't say racist, if you say, man, racists are the worst, or fascists suck, or Nazis are the worst, and if your first instinct is to be like, why not everybody you disagree with is a Nazi, bitch, you a Nazi. You're a fascist, you're a racist. Like the regular people that aren't those things will be like, I agree. They do suck. They are the worst. We do need to get rid of them. Everybody else who sucks, you take a very innocuous and easy to agree with sentence and make it about you being a piece of shit.
What? It's like that thing with like, what's the opposite of an anti-fascist?
Yeah. MAGA.
No. I mean, yes, in the sense that like in what they represent, but no.
Hit dog as like, I don't know if you have this saying in Russian or even Serbian. I don't know if this is a colloquialism in where you're from. Where I'm from, from the South in America. The colloquialism is a hit dog will holler.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. That's what I'm
saying. It's like the head's on fire on the robber, but like I don't remember how it makes sense, but it makes sense.
If these words hurt you, then you've self-identified.
I got it. Well, when people say like the head's on fire on the robber, and you try to check if your head's on fire. Yeah, that's the kind of thing.
That's good. So speaking of hit dogs hollering, Chuck Dixon continues to be a shitty person. I knew he was a conservative from a while back, but like I didn't give a shit because who's reading Chuck Dixon anything? Yes, he had some. Look, he's done some shit in the past that was cool, but he's kind of like Scott Adams. If you cared at all about Dilbert ever, the comic, he's a racist piece of shit. Scott Adams. Well, yeah, you didn't miss anything. He had 2 jokes and he kept doing them for 20 years. But yeah, he basically was just like, first of all, he went that anti-ice Batman picture. He's like, well, I'm gonna do a dueling picture, and it's a pro-police Batman image, and I'm like, even mainstream Batman is just like, you motherfuckers, that's your job, and I'm gonna help you with it, but you're bad at it, and you're corrupt as hell. I live in Gotham City. There's pretty much no good cops. There's basically no good cops, and that's why I fucking exist. But he wants to be like pro-ICE, pro-cop bullshit. But it's like Chuck Dixon's in it. He's just, ugh. We're going to talk about him more later because there's another item we're going to talk about where he chimed in. But just like I said, hit dogs hollering. This is a good image. I liked it. And I love that it's exposing people. But these kind of people don't give a shit anymore. That's the downside of this. They don't give a fuck about being exposed. Which is weird. We need to make them go back into hiding. Like,
shame.
You know how bad, how dirty and terrible your house must be if the roaches are just casually crawling around everywhere. They don't give a fuck about the lights being on or not. That's what it being in America is like right now. The roaches have crawled out of the woodwork. They are sitting on the table while you're eating, and they're acting like they're supposed to be up there eating with you. That's how bad it is. The vermin are like, they're not scurrying. they're proud to be out and about, and they're daring you to do something about it. This shit is wild. Anyway, go Batman. You're the best. Absolute Batman doing the Lord's work. Anyway, that's all of our quick stuff. Let's talk about. Well, I guess this may be quick too, depending on how you react to this. David Dastmalchian, who we know for a lot of, he's been in a bunch of stuff. I really enjoy him as an actor. He was Polka Dot Man in the Suicide Squad. He's been in the MCU. What's the name of his character in the Kurt, yes. Hell, we even saw him. He did the voice for it because Kurt was in Marvel Zombies. He survived quite longer than he should have, to be perfect.
Not surprised. Remember how superstitious he is.
He survived way longer than he should have. Considering,
you know, if the vampires or something show up at his door, he's not going to be opening the door.
Yeah, this guy, he
is prepared.
Think about Kurt. He lived in San Francisco, which in Marvel Zombies was the epicenter of the zombie outbreak. It literally started at Pym Industries. And he fucking lived quite a while into that story. It's very interesting. But anyway, David Dastmalchian, I'm a big fan. He wants to be in the MCU again. But he wants to be a character that I think is maligned because of recent activity. But I also think...
Wait. Did he clearly state that he wanted to be in the MCU, or did he want to be in the amazing Madam Web verse that we are definitely getting? Revelation?
Don't place that evil on him. He wants to be in the MCU as Michael Morbius. Why would you do that? Yeah, it's like because it's like Candyman. If you say Madam Web 2 more times, it's gonna appear. Don't do it.
Oh my god! I'm gonna save the 2 next times for the better moment, and like tomorrow on Halloween, at 12, I'm gonna say her name 2 times, and she's gonna appear.
Honestly,
and then her web will connect us all.
If you watch anything, a really frightening movie for Halloween, it's definitely Madam Web. I think
it's frighteningly good.
That's a one way to look at it.
The only way to look at it.
Well, do a double feature with Morbius, because he wants to be. Look, he wants to be Michael Morbius. I'm gonna actually read what he said. He says, "I think Morbius is, to me, a really interesting metaphor for addiction and some of the more difficult elements when wrestling with the different parts of ourselves psychologically that take over, especially anger parts, self-destructive parts, or uncomfortable parts of ourselves." And then he says, "I love vampires, but I do not invite them in. No, I don't care. I don't care if they were coming in and out of here all day working in the juke joint.
I don't care if they want me to be kind to one another.
Yeah, or I don't care.
No cornbread is getting through that door.
I think this is interesting, and I think he'd be perfect. What do you think?
Look, first of all, he obviously based his opinion on the comics and not on the movie that we all enjoyed so much. Obviously, but yeah, I mean. You know what Sony should have done? They should have contacted him, probably, for that when they planned their movie. It does sound like a good idea, actually, because first of all, yeah, he has this vampire look, definitely, and yeah, that would have been cool. But unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that Sony has the clause in the character, and it's not going to be in the MCU. But if he wants to, give another try, give Sony an opportunity to redeem themselves, maybe he should contact them. I don't know.
I wonder if there's a possibility that Sony can just be like, fine, we'll make an MCU adjacent universe, and we'll just let characters go back and forth. I would love if they do that, because then, I think that's one of the best things they did is let Marvel produced Spider-Man movies, and it's giving them
Yeah.
more. I think that partnership has given them more money than their fucking Spiderless movies, with the
Spiderless verse.
exception of maybe Venom. But even then, that's diminishing returns. If they said, "Hey, let's just do a crossover universe," how about that? Y'all can borrow some of our. If you let some of our characters, some of your characters maybe pop over here to deal with Spider-Man.
You know what?
Would Marvel let that?
As good as this idea sounds, they still would have to like come up with a good story, come up with a good set of characters. Like they would have to commit. They would have to do something that's at least like Spider-Verse in quality. They can't just keep producing whatever we had with like Morbius and Madam Web and Venom, and even Venom, because it was a pretty popular movie. I think they made 3 of them, right? It's still easily forgettable, right? Like right now, nobody's talking about them. Nobody even remembers that they exist.
I think they could introduce Morbius with Spider-Man, which is why he was originally, introduced. Bring him in as an antagonist, not necessarily a villain, and then potentially, like I said, do some crossover. Let Blade show up and be a problem.
Yeah, you know what? Worst case scenario, if nobody likes Morbius in the MCU, you get Blade in.
Yeah.
Fix the problem. Solve the problem.
I mean, I think it's interesting. I think he could do a good job. I don't know if Sony has the vision for it. So I don't know. Well,
vision.
We can only hope. You guys, Marvel, Sony, y'all give this guy a call. I think it would be a good idea. So moving on to DC, we haven't talked much about DC this stream or this show, but we know Lanterns is the next thing that's coming up. Is Lanterns the next? I think actually Supergirl's next, but Lanterns is the next TV thing. Yeah. And look, I'm excited. I'm super excited. For no other reason than because I love Green Lantern. Green Lantern was no lie was my entry into the DC comics. I'm still, I've collected them for like years. I've been out of it for a while, but I really love the Green Lantern lore. I was very excited about them doing a show, even though they said, "Oh, it's just going to be on Earth." I'm like, all right, that's fine. Funny enough, a lot of Green Lantern shit ends up happening on Earth anyway, so that's not out of the range of the comics. And then they were like, it's going to be Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan. I was like, okay, you're saying all the right words, right? You're saying all the right words to me. Hal Jordan's not my favorite. I do love Jon Stewart, but I do appreciate Hal Jordan quite a bit. And then they were like, oh, the guy that did True Detective, one of the creators of True Detective is going to do it, and it's going to be a detective story. I'm like, all right, you've sold me. You don't have to keep piling it on, but if you're going to, go ahead and pile it on. Then they're like, oh, we're going to get Kyle Chandler and Aaron Pierre. Oh, so, I mean, I've been sold, but fine, so I've just been like really, really excited for this show. I'm not sure how have you felt? Like I said all this stuff. Were you excited for this show? Like, was this a high interest?
Yeah, but like I haven't read many Green Lantern comics. I just read, I think I'm pretty sure that I just came across some characters in other stories, and then I read First Sector, and of course Joe is my favorite. But in general, yeah, I'm excited for the show. I'm excited to find more reasons to actually read about these characters, because I do know them from cartoons and animation. But yeah, very excited. And besides the story, the premise that they've described so far, it sounds very interesting.
Yeah, the murder mystery that has more to do with stuff off Earth, and I'm like, what the hell does that even mean? Like, I'm really trying to think, like, how the hell does one person dying on Earth, unless they're talking about a metahuman being murdered,
or an alien?
Yeah, well, because we got to remember that this is before we saw Superman, before we really got into the DCU proper. I was just like, I heard the pitch and I was like, That don't make any. That doesn't sound like it makes any sense. But now we know this is a world with metahumans, and they've known about aliens and all the sort. Like, you know what I'm saying? They've known all about this stuff for a while. So this is not a world where fantastical shit can't happen, and a fantastical murder mystery probably is pretty normal. You know, they might even have in police departments. They might just be like, "Nope, it's aliens. Call Hal Jordan. I don't even want to mess with this. Just go ahead and call Hal Jordan, get his ass over here." So that it could be that, but I was just, I thought the premise was interesting. That said, Chris Mundy, he's the showrunner, co-creator. He's co-creating with Damon Lindelof for this. Everyone's favorite TV creator, I think, maybe for Lost. Is that right? Well, he was talking about did Aaron Pierre and Kyle Chandler do any research on the Lantern's history? And he says, well, everybody did varying degrees of comic book homework on their own, and we were there to answer any questions, but we aren't telling one specific chapter that's already existed in the comics. Our characters are true to the comics, but we're putting them in a new story. So the actors didn't have to dig into a specific period in the comic books. It was more about understanding who John is and understanding who Hal is. All right, so basically, this is an original story. We're just trying to make sure the characters and the Green Lantern Corps are true to what we know. I find this interesting because now we're not tied to a particular bit of lore. We're not tied to a particular bit storyline, because there are a lot of big storylines in Green Lantern, like what huge storylines. I'm glad that they're just like, nah, this is just something new. We know the characters. We're gonna put them in a different situation.
Yeah.
So we're not tied down to a particular storyline.
It's like getting a new arc in the in the comics.
Exactly, which I find. That's one of the things I love and also don't love about the cinematic universes. Like I've loved the idea of getting Age of Ultron, but I didn't enjoy not getting Age of Ultron, if that makes sense. If you're gonna call it Age of Ultron, make fucking Age of Ultron. Don't make the Weekend of Ultron. You know what I'm saying?
He does not perceive time as we do. It lasted longer for him. It was most of his life.
Pretty much, it was to it. It's
like, the Age of Ultron must have been like 2 days, but it was still his age. He wasn't lying about that.
I appreciate that. I think getting the characters right is more important than making sure that you hit one particular mark here or there, and also if the idea is to get the Lanterns on the big stage, it's important to kind of introduce them in a way that's not, it's introducing the Green Lantern Corps is a lot, it's a lot, and so we
don't know if it's gonna be without.
Yeah, well, since it's Earth,
they're probably gonna be on call or something.
Yeah, but it's kind of like
holograms.
Well, it's kind of like Across the Spider-Verse is a lot, but Into the Spider-Verse is a small amount. Like, it's the same concept blown up to its logical conclusion, which is there's tons of freaking Spider-Man, right? So this is the same thing. Like, you get 2 of them, a guy shows up, so you get 3 of them, right? But you keep it there and keep it more focused, and now later on you can expand. So I like that idea.
Why are they gonna mess up that guy's defense about the Green Lantern Oath?
Who's Green Lantern Oath?
Guys.
Oh, that guy. Guy just be saying stuff. You could tell guy just be saying stuff. He's like, yeah, well, my oath said he didn't say that. I'm like, you know what, guy? And he's not. Here's the thing. He's not wrong. The Green Lantern ring didn't say, go be your Earth's sheriff. Like where you solve every problem. It said, you basically protect Earth from external threats, more or less, from extraterrestrial threats, essentially. So you could pretend you could be Superman, or you could just be like, nah, y'all got this. This is small. It has nothing to do with me. But if it's a dimensional imp, I got you. But uh, Lex Luthor or Shriek or
Nah, terrestrial
Live Wire. That's y'all got homegrown terrorists. You deal with it. That's local shit. I'm dealing with shit from other dimensions and stuff. So I get that. But he was also just being like lazy.
He just did, yeah. He just didn't want to do it. I get that.
I don't feel like it. Oh, he was also talking about the casting of Aaron Pierre, which I don't think it was. I don't want to say it wasn't controversial. It was unexpected. There's some colorism involved in the talk around it. I like Aaron Pierre, so I didn't really care about oh, is he dark skinned or not. I was like, is he a good actor? He is. I've enjoyed his roles, but he was talking about casting Aaron Pierre, and he says it's a tricky role because there's physicality to believing that someone is a superhero, and then there's a physicality to the character of Jon Stewart. He was a Marine sniper, which requires a certain kind of focus and diligence. After the Marines, he becomes an architect, so there's an artistic side to him. Those are a lot of elements that an actor has got to be able to project. And Aaron is someone who understands that physicality as a trained theater actor. So basically, he's just like his acting chops can kind of communicate these things that are important to the different aspects of Jon Stewart as a character, which I didn't even consider that. Yeah, I mean, he's an architect. I forgot that he was an architect, right? So he's not just a sir, yes sir, what do you call it, a jarhead. He's not just that. He's not just that. He's not just a soldier that can shoot people from a distance. He's a
jarhead who can draw.
Yeah, he's a jarhead that can draw. And also we know from his character within the comics, and the fact that he was chosen by the Lantern Ring in the first place, is he's a pretty heroic and noble dude, right? Like sometimes more so than some of the other Lanterns. He's more. I think he's the Green Lantern more often than not that people go to when they're just like they turn to or they look to him. Not just here in our world, but maybe even in the comics. Hal Jordan's he's the Lantern, right? Because he's been the one for a while. He was on the Justice League. But Jon Stewart, I think, is on an equal playing field with him. But in this story, it appears that he's more of the young gun versus the old hand, and they're having to work together. And that's a trope. That is a police procedural, a police buddy cop trope that we've seen forever and a day. And I am not mad about that at all. Because,
people keep asking for this kind of movies and this kind of shows. So there you go.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think Aaron Pierre is I think he's a great talent. I'm glad they picked him.
I really like the idea and the premise, and so far everything that I keep hearing about the show is good. But I swear, if I hear one more time that somebody wants a buddy cop movie or a buddy cop show about two characters, I'm just gonna start punching left and right, because that is very annoying. Come up with something new.
No, there have been
but not in this case. This is good.
There have been no new police idea, show or movie ideas in 30-40 years. They're all the same movie. They're just different characters and slightly different circumstances, but there's nothing new. And we, by the way, in comic book movies, we've gotten the buddy cop thing.
Yeah.
or a buddy movie. The Marvels was that. The Marvels.
The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier was that. We've gotten this before. It's chill out. But anyway, I'm super excited for this show. I can't wait to talk about it some more. So when we get more information, we will talk about it then. This is news that I don't like. I haven't look, in America and probably elsewhere, oligarchs are just they're like that game Hungry Hippos, I don't know if you played that as a kid.
No.
You sit there, there's a 4-player game, and there's these little toy hippos, and there's all these marbles, and you hit this little liver and they reach out and try to grab it, and the person that wins is the one that eats the most, right? It's a it's a
So that's how they teach you about capitalism. Okay.
I mean, it's a good demonstration, except in this case, if you were playing Hungry Hippos and one hippo was half the size of the board and the other hippos were like, super tiny, because that's what's going on there. All these conglomerates are and have been gobbling up more and more media companies to the detriment of us regular ass people, um, because it's concentrating power over media and over news and over representation and
Yeah,
et cetera, into the hands of fewer and fewer people. And here's a big surprise: what do those fewer and fewer people look like? I'll I'll give you a guess. I'll give you one guess. What do they look like? It's so a bunch of rich ass white dudes are essentially dividing up media and deciding on how they're going to propagandize us. Case in point, Paramount, which was most recently bought out by Skydance. Skydance owned by what's the guy's name? Richard Ellison, something like that. Larry Ellison's son. Larry Ellison being he was a former Oracle CEO, billionaire, Trump fan, and like many of the leaders of these big media companies, they've been kissing that motherfucker's ass because they want to be able to do what they want to do. Because the American government has to approve mergers of big companies to avoid monopolies. But they don't care about that. They don't care about the monopoly thing. They're pretty okay with it. So Warner Brothers Discovery. Now they were bought out. Again, we're talking about Hungry Hippos, right? They were bought out by Discovery. David Zaslav, or the guy who notoriously axed a bunch of shit and took things off streaming and all that in the name of saving money, right? Well, it's been rumored, even before the takeover of Warner Brothers by Discovery, that they were basically doing it to flip it, right? They would take it over, cut a fuck ton of jobs, cut a lot of projects, spin things off, essentially to make eventually, when they spun Warner Brothers off again, to make a little money at it, right? It's like they bought a car, that looked like it was in bad shape, banged out the dings in it, put a new coat of paint over it, and chucked out a few things here or there to make it look good, and then to resell it. It's the same fucking car, but it's it's less some things so that they can make a turn of profit at it. And they're like, oh, people want to buy us. So Paramount is really, really interested in buying them. Again, remember, Skydance just bought Paramount. Now it's Paramount Skydance now, right? They just bought them. So they spent billions of dollars to buy Paramount, right? Now they're going to turn back around and spend billions more to buy Warner Brothers, not Discovery. Discovery will spin them off. They'll be separate. They're going to spend billions more to buy Warner Brothers and to essentially bring together 3 studios. So this will be the biggest studio in Hollywood. And this is terrible. No way you look at this. This is not good. At all. It wouldn't be good for us consumers. Honestly, it wouldn't be good for Hollywood. You're basically concentrating a lot of creativity into one place, which means fewer movies and fewer TV shows get made. And also, it's under the thumb of blatantly right-wing, authoritarians, or wannabe authoritarians, or at least enablers of authoritarians. And they most definitely will be using that to rein in the sort of movies and TV shows and even news programming that could be made. Because Warner Brothers makes a lot of TV. They make a lot of movies.
Revelation?
Hell, this won't happen. I mean, Discovery will probably keep it, but they have a ton of cable channels, stuff like that. So CNN, I believe. So this is horrible. Absolutely fucking horrible. But I guess the silver lining could be is that apparently the people at Paramount would leave DC Studios alone. And I know there's a bunch of Snyder stands that are like, they're crying because they're like, no, sell. Because remember, I don't know if we talked about it, but they're like, could we sell Paramount? Could Warner Brothers be sold to Netflix? Could they be sold? Who could they be sold to? Because Paramount really wants to. Netflix is like, nah, we're good. We're not gonna do that. Comcast might buy them. Comcast Universal might buy them. I guess if Paramount ends up buying them, they'll leave the DCU intact, probably. But this is still terrible. Anyway, I've talked a lot. That's a big preface to that. How do you feel about this?
Not good.
Yeah.
No, really, it's not just like a lot of informational outlets being held in one hand, which is terrible, and we know that. We know where it leads. But like creative companies like DC Studios, I don't know. Like after what they've been doing for the last like year, seeing them in the hands of like white supremacists, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think that any of the promises could be believed right now because, like, people would say anything.
Exactly.
I don't know. I just don't. I'm not optimistic.
No, I think it's terrible even if you disregard the DC thing. Like
yeah, of course.
But if I don't believe
I've seen where it leads.
I honestly don't think that they'll keep their hands off of DC Studios. Like, and I'm again, there's some Snyder stand. They're already like, please buy them and get rid of James Gunn. And this actually comes back to the whole Chuck Dixon thing because he was showing his ass. I saw Blurred Without Fear posted this, like a screenshot of it, but Chuck Dixon was like, if Paramount buys, hopefully when or he said if Paramount buys Warner Brothers, James Gunn is out the door because he's like, no matter how you look at it, Superman was a failure, and I was like, what the fuck? No matter how you look at it, they're definitely profitable. They made money off of it. It was well received. He just doesn't like the wokeness. Because Chuck Dixon, first of all, what the fuck good has he made recently? Did somebody tell me?
I'm trying to remember, what did he make in general?
I mean, like, it's hilarious to me, and I'm sure James Gunn probably respects, the shit he's done before, but it's weird to me. It's weird to me how this guy's just like, oh, this was a failure. You sound like these fucking dumbass. He sounds like these fucking dumbass Snyder stands that swear that Superman has failed and everything like that. And I'm like, I saw the final box office. They made, it made almost three times. It made over 3 times its budget. So, which in Hollywood's, accounting, is profitability. So Chuck Dixon is on some bullshit. It's all culture war shit. He's looking at, he can't be objective because he wants it to fail because he doesn't agree with, James Gunn and whatever. You know what I'm saying? But this shit is hard. I think it's horrible.
The dude is like 71 years old. Just, be quiet.
No, in America, 71 means people have to still care about what you have to say, especially if you're a white man.
No. We should just stop listening to these people because, like, they are too removed
their
from
guy,
reality.
Look,
no.
Truthfully, in America, their guy is in charge, and people who if they can gin them up and get them mad about shit, that's what really matters. So this is another culture war issue. I'm just like, you're objectively fucking wrong. Like, you're not correct.
True.
Superman is successful. The only measurement by which you think it's not successful is because you're an anti-woke idiot.
You didn't like it.
Yeah, you're an anti-woke idiot. That's the only standard of measurement that you think that it's a failure. It's not a fucking failure. Like, you're wrong.
Yeah, but also like when you were born in the 50s, like, sorry, don't necessarily need to hear what you have to say about anything. That was so long ago.
it, I look, assuming we can believe them, I don't think we can. They may keep him in place, but that doesn't mean that they're gonna maintain his original vision. Because part of the reason why Gunn and Safran are where they are is because they pitched a vision to Zaslav and Pam Abdi, and I forget the other guy's name. They pitched a certain vision to them about what the DC universe was going to be, and they were very clear about where they were going and their ideas. So if these guys take over, they don't have to honor any of that. They don't have to maintain it. They'll just be like, okay, whatever, do this or not. Or Mr. Terrific, he sure should go to the. He should not be prominent. You know, Wonder Woman, save that. You know, all of this stuff, all of this woke shit. We don't want to see that. We want good old fashioned American entertainment where people know their place, and they could do that. And so, I don't want it. Fucking David Zaslav. He can't help but make things shitty. Like that's
I'm sorry, is he like the worst business person
no.
ever?
Here's the thing: is he's gonna make money doing this. He's flipping the house. He's gonna make money at it. And to be fair, he did, hire James Gunn and Peter Safran. That's the only one of the only decisions I think were any good of his. Most of them, I'm like, this is stupid. It's just good God, I don't want it, and no one should want this. I'm just saying. Anyway, we'll keep an eye on it. I figure in the next 4 to 6 weeks, maybe by the beginning of the year, we'll know who's going to actually buy Warner Brothers. But let me just say, there's no good option.
I mean, I hope it's not Snyder Bros.
Well, they can't.
Pull their checks.
They can't even afford to make a Snyder universe short, much less buy a studio. But like, I'm so serious. There's no good option. The least bad option is probably Netflix. They're the least bad. Everybody else is just not good. So anyway, maybe Universal. That would be funny. But
Disney.
No, Disney can't. They don't got the money for it. And they're not. They're only marginally better than Paramount. So Bob Iger is ready to kiss the ring and other things on Trump. Anyway, we'll see. We'll let you guys know when this merger happens. So now it's time for Polly's review of Dispatch, the superhero workplace comedy visual novel game thing. I don't even know how. I don't know how to explain this thing. We talked about it last week. There was a trailer. This is not my type of game, but it is about superheroes, so we have to talk about it. And apparently, Polly was like, "Oh, this is my favorite kind of game." I was like, "Awesome, the serendipity," because I was never gonna play this game. But
I mean, I'm still hoping that you might change your mind, because it's kind of like it's less kind of like a game and more like a weekly show.
So, yeah.
It does feel like a weekly show. It releases episodes, like 2 episodes every week. The first ones came out on 22nd, on October 22nd, and it was like after you mentioned this on the in the show notes, you mentioned the trailer. I watched it, and then I went to check it on Steam, and it was out already, which surprised me. I bought it immediately, and yeah, I played all 4 episodes that are out now. It is really does feel like a TV show. It does. The story flows like a TV show. It has an episodic structure. It does have this visual style that is. It does remind me a lot of Invincible. Kind of like this similar artistic style in general, and in terms of characters, kind of looks like that too. Yeah. So mostly the game is voiced by Critical Role, which a lot of people are fans of. And it's like aside from what we talked about last week, that it was some developers from Telltale Games. So yeah, that's what it is. So it does, like I said, it seems to be heavily inspired visually by Invincible, kind of like a cartoonish style. Does let you play as the lead character. His name is Robert Robertson, and he used to be Mecha Man, which is like a celebrated hero of the people. He used to be like not the first Mecha Man. He used to be the third Mecha Man. So his grandfather before him did it, and then his father did it, and then he did it. And the game starts with him breaking the costume, like in a fight or something, and not being able to repair it because it costs a lot of money, and he ain't got that. And he does not have any superpowers, but the rest of the heroes do, and the villains. Which is how he ends up at like Superhero Dispatch working. He gets an offer from what's her name, Blonde Blazer, like the technically the love interest of the game, I guess. One of
Blonde
them.
Blazer? That was her name?
Yeah, it's like the your
they couldn't they did, was Arian
textbook.
was Arian Ace taken, or so was that name Arian Ace taken or something? I don't know.
Yes, it probably was taken by someone who, I don't know, but by someone else. But yeah, that's exactly the kind of hero and character. She is like blonde. She is kind of looks like blonde Wonder Woman, or textbook superhero from the whatever, like
Was it
90s.
I guess.
Is
she a gooner target?
Oh, I mean, yeah, she probably is. Yeah. She's a little bit more covered up usually, but yeah, definitely. I'm not sure even I know her powers, but like she's super strength and flight and stuff like that. Very generic, very generic. They didn't go for anything original, and that's where the game actually it does seem like a parody, and yet another parody of the Marvel and DC, but like with very generic characters. They have like and the this Robert character, who's the protagonist, he's pretty much Iron Man, but without money or
smarts,
being able to actually build his own suit. And the characters that we have to dispatch, the character we get this team of former super villains who are now like in a special program, and they're about to. You have to help them become superheroes, and you dispatch them to different events, which is like it kind of feels like you are playing, you are watching a show, and you do make some decisions. It's like a visual novel. You don't get many choices, and that's actually one of the problems I have, that you don't have like very different storylines. You have limited choices. It's one thing or the other, pretty much, and like phrases. Also, I would have preferred it if we had more ways to affect the story, but that's okay. And then they added this other game mode, which is your basically screen, and you answer the calls. You send the heroes, and you can level them up. You can add the points like to different characteristics that help them deal with one crisis or another. And you have a whole roster of heroes, which are, they do surprisingly feel like dime store version of like other heroes, like a mix of Vision and Superman, that whatever is Phenomenon is Park from Alpha Flight or whatever, like looks like the Dark Child, Catwoman with knives, and Luna Snow, Clayface, Man-Bat, and like Emo Sue Storm in it, which is and she's another love interest, which is like a much better option than what did you call her? Arian what?
Arian Ace.
Yes, yes. I'm gonna call her that from now on because that's what she is. Mm, it is fun. It is like really fun in the sense that you have to use your brain a lot. There are some puzzles that you have to solve. It's kind of like the breaking into something because you're obviously good with computers, but apparently not good enough to fix your own suit. Yeah, it does feel like a card or tabletop games at times, but yeah, pretty fun. And the story is, sometimes I personally felt like it leaned a little bit too much into stereotypes, which I don't know, kind of felt a little uncomfortable. But in general, the story is pretty good. It does feel wholesome. It could be a comic book, and there is like in the I bought the deluxe edition, so they have like additional comic stories and stuff like that, information about the developers and the team behind the game, which is all fun. But yeah, it does feel like someone was trying to make a TV show or a comic book, but ultimately decided to go with the game. Uh, Still, very interested to see how it ends. I obviously I I do feel that it does have specific, like maybe two options, like two ending options. I'm not sure, maybe more, but I do feel like there is a limit to what you can affect actually in this game. But it's fun, and it's about superheroes.
There we
I do
go,
recommend it.
which is important. Do you think
Hell
that
yeah.
is it replayable? Would you replay it?
I'm pretty sure, yeah, I would replay it because I would try to achieve better results in my dispatch calls. Maybe like there is like another gameplay problem that I encountered. It's that you don't have enough time to properly like analyze every answer option, and you have like three options of an answer, and I usually just click the first one that like I run through them. I don't have the time to process them and to actually think that, is that what I would say? Would I want to say that? How would this affect the person? Uh, on one side, it does feel like in real life, but in real life, sometimes if I don't have anything to say, I would just be quiet.
Right.
And in the case, I don't know if that's an option, and you have to pick something. So yeah, sometimes I say the wrong thing. Sometimes I say the thing that seems right, like the right thing. It's also, it kind of does feel like this visual novel games.
Yeah. Well, my question is like, is there really such thing as the right thing? That's the
Well,
question.
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know if I'm gonna win. Already know for a fact that there are a few things that are gonna bite me in the ass for sure. I know like that you have to, at some point you have to cut someone from the team, and depending on who you cut, it's definitely going to create a problem. At some point you have a choice to like antagonize someone or not, and that's going to be a problem. uh, Everything's going to be a problem, I'm pretty sure of that. But after playing games like what's it called, Detroit, uh, which is the game with multiple choices, but that game really gives you like a lot of options. I'm pretty sure that here I have a more or less strict story that will
right,
happen anyway, regardless of what I do.
right,
And I think that could have been done better. But in general, for a new game that I didn't know anything about, that's pretty cool. And I'm glad that it exists. I'm definitely gonna finish playing it. I enjoy it a lot. And well, I do recommend it to all the fans of superheroes, and I do recommend it to you, by the way, because it doesn't require any effort, but you will enjoy just watching what happens.
right.
There is one mode. There is an interactive mode where you have to like be quick and press the buttons when you're fighting, and I'm pretty sure there is a story mode if you just want to watch the cutscenes.
Right. Well, when it goes on sale. Maybe.
So probably like in a couple months.
Uh, Well, we'll see. Well, cool. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad that you found out about it, because if I, apparently if I hadn't said anything about it, you wouldn't have known about it. So that's cool. So
Yeah, can you imagine?
you guys go give that a look. See if you agree with Polly, and let us know about it. So,
And yeah, and let me know what are your choices? Who did
all
you cut
bad.
from the
All
team?
of them are
Like,
bad.
how did you spend your evening? Did you lie about things?
Can
Because, well, yeah, I did.
can we get rid of Aryan Ace? Is the question. I don't think you
Oh,
can. I think you
I mean,
can't.
you can pick another love interest,
Yeah.
which is what I did.
Nice.
I'm hoping to like find a way to get rid of her. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen, but we'll.
I'm gonna end up like the end of the game. I'm probably gonna end up with her anyway. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the way they call it, the one true pairing.
No,
So
no such thing.
yeah. So I think that's all of our that's all of our stuff for for today. I can't believe it. But what did you guys think about this? All of the stuff we talked about. What do you think about Dispatch? What do you think about my rant about Paramount, which is extensive?
Are
Uh,
you as excited as I am about the Madam Web
yeah, if you
movie
want
cinematic
to,
universe?
if you want to troll us about Madam Web, I mean, you can do that too. All of that's good stuff that we would enjoy hearing from you. So you know what to do. Get down to the comment section, leave your thoughts there, and of course you can always hit us up. supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com, blurred_force1 on Instagram and Threads, super_not_funny show on TikTok. And while you're doing that, do us a favor, get down there, hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. All that good stuff helps to grow this channel, helps more people to see this podcast and all of the other things that we do on Blurred Force 1. And of course, I couldn't do this by myself. I need Polly to go play a game I'm probably not going to play. And also,
You're gonna
and also
play that
just
game.
bring that comic book knowledge and enthusiasm. So, Polly, where can they reach you on social media?
Okay, that's actually pretty easy. It's _mixed on Threads, on Instagram, on Tumblr, and I did dig up my Twitch account. For some reason, I actually had a Twitch account. And I may or may not be streaming something eventually, so yeah, just subscribe.
Nice. Yeah, check her out on Twitch. I have a Twitch account.
Yeah, if I ever gonna stream something, I'm gonna post about it, so everybody is welcome.
Yeah, one day I'll go to Twitch, but like I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't even know about streaming on YouTube. You see, we're on and off on streaming because of really it's more hardware limitations. But yeah, you guys go check that out. Show Polly some love. Definitely keep an eye out, especially if you are a member of the Church of Doom. The Church of Reed Richards Truth. You know what to do.
Anti-Reed Club.
The Anti-Reed Club.
We meet Sundays. Like
membership is really rising. I've noticed. So.
Yeah.
So now, normally this would be where we end the show, but I asked for people on social media, to hit us up. Let us know if they have any questions for us to answer, to talk about. So we're going to do a new segment. Hopefully this looks right. Let's see. Of course it doesn't look right. It's Ask Blurred Force 1. And of course it's entirely too big. I did not do a good job with this, but you know what, guys? I'm going to resize it next time. Anyway, Ask Blurred Force 1. This is where we're going to talk about, the viewer question. So our first question is, oh, of course my questions aren't coming up. Why not? First question is, let me see. It's going to be from RE_Junker on Threads. And the question is, should Marvel restart the Ultimate line after it ends next year? What do you... Now, again, guys, remember, let me see. Remember, I don't really read the comics, right? So I can't really speak to this, right? But that being said, I think that
I
they
can.
should. I think they should, and that's because it's a good idea. It's a good fucking idea. Why wouldn't you look? Why wouldn't you? To me, the first iteration of the Ultimate Universe was a great idea, right? It ultimately was mired under what I would consider to be it got weighed down by the weight of it, not just its lore, but just like expectations. It became too much like the 616, which is a problem. If you're gonna have an alternate universe, be an alternate universe. Seeing what that's one thing that What If didn't get right is, well, they did get right sometimes, but if you're too much like what happened originally, if you're just like, let me riff on the thing that happened originally, fine, but it gets a little tiresome. It's more interesting to be like, what if some shit that has nothing to do with anything is a super out of the way version of the MCU. That's a good idea, right? So, and we saw that in What If season 3. They were just like, let's just do some weird shit, and they did some weird shit. I'm down with that. So I think what the Hickman ultimate line does right is being like, yeah, it looks, it riffs on the OG, the 616 timeline, but it's a majorly wildly different things are happening, and you cannot it's so wildly different in some aspects that you are not going to be able to predict where this is going, right? That just the fact that some heroic characters are huge villains in this in the new Ultimate Universe. They're ending it, they're bringing it to a conclusion, but do Ultimate again, and like somebody with a vision for something interesting, do it again. I think so. What say you?
Oh, I have two opinions on this because one is I think they should maybe continue it because they told the story of how it all came to be. They basically told the story of how these heroes showed up, appeared, and why they couldn't appear before. They set up the world. And then they probably can play in it for some time. That would be a good idea, in my opinion. Not just because there is they can tell the stories that exist now, but there are different characters that are more different stories to be told with these characters, with these versions of them, and that would be interesting. If they don't want to do that, then maybe, I mean, not necessarily ultimate, but like more alternative versions of the characters in fully developed stories, not just one shots, not just alternative, within the main story or main timeline, but more alternative takes. I talk about this a lot, but like young adult versions of the characters. Come on, that's a good idea. Bring them on, create a whole universe where like X-Men are in school again, and make them, I don't know, meet the Avengers who are in school, something like that. Do something fun, play around with the characters because
they should play football against each other.
Oh yeah, definitely. And by football, I mean normal football, not American football. And then there are ways, there are like interesting stories that you could tell. And what the thing that I liked about this ultimate version of Ultimate Universe is that like you said, bad characters in like those who've gone bad in the main timeline don't necessarily have to go bad in the Ultimate Universe. So do that. Turn villains into heroes. Take like a fresh look at everyone. That would be cool. And it doesn't have to be called Ultimate Universe. It can be called, I don't know, Absolute Universe or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a good chance. It's a lot of it is riffing on characters, so maybe to introduce some new characters. Miles Morales is one of the one of the characters from an alternate universe that everyone loves now. Spider-Gwen, you know what I'm saying? Like,
But then again, the now existing Ultimate, it's not fully fresh. They didn't just start it. They didn't start from like blank list. They kind of borrowed some ideas from the previous one.
Right.
So, and if they want to do the new one, I would like them to start fresh, because that could be an entry point. That could be something that people would pick up, and they wouldn't have to deal with the decades of storytelling and like trying to navigate through all these comics that exist.
I mean, I think ultimately,
and that's the whole point of Ultimate.
Well, ultimately, the ultimate universes,
ultimate.
the ultimate universes really are just what if extended, an extended version of a what if story. And that's their strength and their weakness, because the strength is we can kind of do whatever, but they can't really do whatever. Like, they can't have Spider-Man be a villain. They can't have Spider-Man they can't rip too much off of Spider-Man, because it's not really Spider-Man, right? Hell, one thing you can never do with Spider-Man is you can't take him away from with great power. If you take him away from that whole thing, it kind of undermines the character. So they can only riff so much, but there's so much room to do interesting things. But that's also a limitation, not a limitation, a weakness of the whole format, is because then you get people who are just like, well, what if something crazy like this? What if Spider-Man were actually, Kree? Or what if, they start throwing shit at the wall. And it's,
I mean, they when you said that like you can't take with great power out of Spider-Man, but I mean, that's the whole thing, that you can actually. And you can try putting the same character in the same situation and just taking all the different turns. But if you construct the story before putting it to paper, if you just think it through and think through how it's gonna go, then you can develop a new version of this character. And it's fine, because we know that an evil version of Spider-Man probably exists somewhere. Everything is possible, and that's exactly the point of this universe.
Yeah. So that's a long answer. Yes, they should either continue, but make a new one. Why not? It's an evergreen idea. It's an idea that will never run out of steam, in my opinion. It's all, especially for those of us who actually read comics, because we want something new. All right, well, here's something new, and it doesn't require another relaunch of the main line or anything like that. You can just like do your thing and not care about what the hell's going on in the main line.
Just for the record, I think that we maybe could relaunch another like the main timeline.
Yeah, they're not going to. So.
Yeah, I know. Should have done that.
The next, we have another question, one more question. It comes to us from the Marvel Reader, which is like, definitely, if you're not following, should follow. Marvel Reader is all, as you can imagine, reading Marvel comics and talking about them. So that's right up the alley of us. So the Marvel Reader asks, with the recent Batman Deadpool issue and more on the horizon, what would be your ideal Marvel and DC character team up? So we see these, like, what was it, Batman, Deadpool?
Yeah.
I haven't read any of these. But I understand. Who did Lobo team up with? I can't remember.
I think he didn't get a team up, but it was like a mix of him and Wolverine.
Okay, yeah. So, but we're in that era right now where comic sales are low. This is a gimmick. It's a good gimmick. I mean, it's a good gimmick. You want to get people to buy stuff. Apparently, the stories have been mostly good. So cool. So who would we like to see? Who would you like to see? I picked several, but who would you like to see as a team up?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I probably should have thought about that.
Here. Why don't I'll give you time while I'm saying mine.
Yeah.
You can come, and I'm probably gonna steal some of yours. My first one, and this is yes, because there's two black guys, so why not? But there's more to it than that. I assure you when I say this. Black Panther, Mr. Terrific. That would be fucking dope. First of all, because people, you know what? People don't. They don't give T'Challa credit like they should. T'Challa is one of the smartest fucking people on the planet. Straight up. Yeah, he can. Yeah, he's bad at. He can whoop your ass in a fight. Yeah, he's rich as hell. But he is fucking smart. Like to the point where if you line him up next to Bruce Wayne, which there there's a lot of things about their lives that align and turn or parallel. He's smarter than Bruce Wayne. He just straight up. He's scientific. He's a scientific like high level mind. Mr. Terrific is probably the smartest person in the DCU that ain't Brainiac. He says he's the third smartest person on Earth. Maybe, but
but Reed Richards says he's the first smartest person on Earth. But that's not true.
Mr. Terrific is we saw that in Superman. Mr. Terrific, he peeped what Lex Luthor was doing and knew immediately what the fuck was going on. Like as soon as he saw the tech, he knew exactly what the fuck was happening. He knew what it meant. He knew he absolutely, and he hacked his shit. He hacked Lex Luthor's shit. You know what I'm saying? So these two super smart ass dudes, right? Teaming up to like whoever they're fighting is done. Just forget about it. He got the T spheres.
This fight's in a math equation.
Can you imagine the T sphere is made out of vibranium? It's over. That's what I'm trying to say. It's over with. I think it'll be great. I think that'll be a great. This is two goddesses together, Storm and Wonder Woman. You got to make that happen. Storm and Wonder Woman teaming up. Let's get out of here. Hell, Storm and Wonder Woman fighting each other. Did you not just talk about? And I saw this. You were talking about the Storm series where she's an actual god, and she laid out another Storm god that tried to come to Earth, and she was like, "Oh, get the fuck off of my planet." And I was like, "Oh shit, I didn't know Storm was on that." So she could definitely I know Wonder Woman has comparable to a Kryptonian physical power, but I think Storm would fare quite favorably in a fight against Wonder Woman, personally. I think
she doesn't need to come close, and as far as I know, like Wonder Woman has to be up close to fight you.
I think she can do some stuff, but I think Storm Wonder Woman. If
Storm doesn't even need to get closer.
So I think that would be a cool one. Two more. One of them, Rocket Raccoon and Lobo, just for the banter, just for the way they will talk to each other. I think that would be hilarious. Can you imagine like Lobo like having a sidecar for Rocket? Get out of here. I don't even need because he has his space motorcycle or whatever, space Harley, whatever the fuck it is. If he had a sidecar for Rocket and Rocket's got all of his guns, and also again the talk would be hilarious. Final one is Miles Morales and Robin. It could be Damian Wayne or Tim Drake, either one.
Oh, don't expose poor Miles to Damian. Jesus, not bad.
I think Miles he's such a strong character now. Like personality wise, he knows who he is. He understands himself. He's been a hero for a while. I think Damian would be annoyed as hell having to fight alongside him because he can't intimidate him. Damian's whole thing is that he's from the League of Shadows, right? He got trained as an assassin. He thinks he's the bee's knees, as they say. And then he has to team up with a guy that's not impressed by that. He's not going to be impressed by that. And they have to be heroes. I think that would be fun. I think they'd be a good team up. So anyway, those are mine.
Okay, honestly, I think if you needed to put Damian in a team up with someone, I'd pick Rocket for him because Rocket would be
super unimpressed.
He'd be
extra unimpressed.
Pretty good babysitter for little shits like that. So yeah, it's gonna be yelling and all that. One of my favorite DC characters is Zatanna, so I would like to see a team up with her. And one part of me kind of wants to go the obvious route and put her on a team up with some of the magical characters, like Scarlet Witch, Ileana, or maybe what's her name? Just
Nico.
anyone else. Yeah. But the other side of me, like, maybe we could put her with someone else, literally anyone, because it's just
She-Hulk.
a lot of fun.
Zatanna
Ooh,
She-Hulk.
that would be pretty cool. Uh, really anyone. I just want to see more of her in the comics. So I don't think that we should necessarily take the most famous characters and put them
Mm-hmm.
on teams with other characters. I know why they do it, because like a lot of people want to
Sales.
see that, and a lot of yeah, exactly. So you choose like Batman, you choose Superman, you choose Wolverine, you choose Spider-Man, all that. I would go for like less obvious characters, and I also would like to see, like, if we take these characters that are like copied one from another, you know, that Namor and Aquaman and the Bumblebee and Wasp, stuff like that. Mm, Maybe like those team ups could be fun, because they have a similar power sets, and they could be interesting.
The Atom and Ant-Man.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought Green Lantern Nova, but I was like, I don't know that I'd care for.
And yeah, it's not as interesting, because like they're both space cops, and like, what you
Yeah,
gonna do?
yeah, they're two, like the sheriff
Cop
at,
each other.
yeah, the city police versus the county sheriffs. It wouldn't. I'd be like, okay, it's just gonna be a pissing contest about who
But
sprays mace faster.
so far I did like the like in the first book, I did like the fact that characters don't really seem bothered by the fact that like DC characters don't get bothered by the fact that Marvel characters show up, like with Batman and Deadpool. That is pretty cool, because like multiverse and stuff, and they just don't bother explaining it. It just
Right.
happened. I love that. So yeah, I don't remember which team ups we're getting. I remember that like there is Nightwing and someone. What was the cover?
Oh, I have a good one.
Uh,
Squirrel Girl and Animal
uh,
Man. Squirrel Girl and Animal Man would be good. Or I think that okay. Yeah, there's so many options in there. Like not even counting like villains or whatever, how the villains would interact. But that's a good. I think that would be good. So, the Marvel reader. Thanks for the question. There's your answers. Let us know what y'all think. So that really is. That's all we have for this episode. We're gonna try to make user or viewer questions a regular thing. So once again, if you have something you want to share, hit us up. You got the socials, you got all the ways to connect to us, and let us know what you're thinking. So with that said, this has been episode 204 of the Supercast. Thanks for joining us. Come back next week. We're going to talk about even more stuff. Dispatch. I'm assuming we're going to get the next episodes reviewed. All of the news that comes out, all that good stuff. So until then, I've been Mo, your comment extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by my good friend Polly, and we'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.